the things that I noticed were there was a lot of disunity on the team as a whole, and especially the people that at that time were considered the leadership team. The disunity and everything kind of seemed to go in circles, and what that leads to is you're just spinning your wheels constantly. So it leads to doing things twice, it leads to frustration, it leads to arguments that don't necessarily need to be arguments, and ultimately what it leads to is no profit. So Nate, the owner, he had started the EOS process about 2 years, I think, before I got on board, and he was really trying to work hard. They had been working with an implementer at that time the guy moved, and so he wanted to continue to try to self-implement this process, which in my opinion that's an impossible task for an owner, because there's no way you can see yourself in the right light. So one of the things that Nate is really good at is setting a vision out for people, and that's one of the components of the whole EOS process. And obviously, we've moved on to different, better processes, but the component of vision is one of the most important things to start with, and that's what Nate is really good at setting out there in front of him, in front of people, and in front of me. And the thing that I grabbed onto was that Nate has a vision for something, and he is also willing to admit that he doesn't 100% know how to get there by himself. So I was able to find my place on the leadership team that said, hey, we have this vision, it's out there somewhere, we don't necessarily know how to get there yet, but that vision is so big that I'm willing to come in, work through the issues on a day-to-day basis, and get to where we need to go. The vision was bigger. The vision was bigger than just the little things that we were arguing about at the time, and it just felt like there was always something bigger than what we were looking at. Well, I think the vision is one of the most important things, because it's the only thing that can get all the arrows aligned going in the same direction. So that's one of the reasons why it matters so much to me, is because if we can't, the company has scaled past being able to do it on our own. When Nate started, he was by himself, and he was cutting grass and doing his thing, and then he scaled the business past where it could just be more than Nate. As the more you scale, the more it's important to make sure that all the arrows are aligned in the same direction. And that's impossible to do without one thing that is out in the middle of saying, this is our goalpost. Everybody here better be targeting that goalpost, or you might not make it here. And it's not necessarily that you're a bad person, but this is where we are going as a team. So if you want to be part of this team, hop on board, because that's where we're going. It's something that has to be bigger than the day. It has to be something that's bigger than the month. It's the big thing, the big reason that we are all going in that same direction. One of the reasons it's important to have a third party in the room is that you don't always know what you don't know. And the third party is able to see things from a different perspective. We are so busy, everybody in the company, because we're following that vision, is so busy in the day-to-day, doing things, executing things, talking to clients, and you don't always see the warts that may be growing on the outside. And so the addition of that third party who has no emotional connection to the business, who is able to look at things in a totally different light, is able to ask questions that you might not have thought of yet. And so they're able to come to you and say, hey, why do you do it this way? Or have you thought about doing it this way? Or they're able to ask questions and draw things out and make your brains think in a different way. And I think, having been a part of two companies that have tried to self-implement, the third party is what makes the difference in implementing the business process, whatever you're using. There's a lot of egos involved, a lot of pride involved, and the third party levels out that playing field so that you can actually have real deep conversations that actually matter, and you can get real things solved instead of arguing because you're mad at this person for some stupid reason. I truly think that to do this process right, it requires you to look at yourself, and once you start looking at yourself, if you're okay with that, and then you know then you realize the things that you need to fix. And a couple of the things that I've been working on throughout this whole time is I had a real hang up with the fact that I didn't have a college degree, and I thought that was going to hold me back forever or getting to the place where I needed to go. What this has allowed me to do is learn the business side of things. I can cut grass, I can lay mulch. I've done that for 18 years. But the difference is it's switched into more of a business role. And so understanding the numbers, how to manage the numbers, what different things mean, how to get people motivated to manage to those numbers and to work towards those numbers, it makes an unbelievable difference. So, and it's also helped me realize that little tweaks always make the difference. I'm also not a patient person, so being able to see the things that we've done 3 and 5 quarters before this quarter are now taking effect has actually slowed my process down, my brain process, to say, all right, we're gonna focus on these 2 little things, and there's gonna be other fires, but they're not burning as hot as this one. So we're gonna fix this one, and then we won't have to fix that one again for a while. And we're gonna do the best we can to manage those. But so I think overall, the whole process of working with Cullen, with working through this EOS process, this business process, has said, this is what business really means. I grew up thinking business was one way, and learning about gross profit, net profit, has led me to the point where business means something totally different. And it's actually really fulfilling to be in a spot where I've got a lot of experience in the field, but I can do the business side too. If you don't care about growing, then that's fine. You probably don't need to work with a coach for very long. But if you're worried about growing and scaling your business to be the best, things change all the time. The problems that we were talking about last year are not the problems we have this year. And somehow the issues keep coming, right? We never have an empty issues list. So because of that, like I said earlier, you need somebody to constantly be asking you those questions of, hey, this seems to be an issue that you keep talking about a lot. Why are you doing it this way? And if you constantly stay willing to be open to learning, open to doing new things, and open to scaling your business, you're going to constantly need somebody from the outside saying why. So Cullen has the ability to listen, observe, and then speak at the right times. Sometimes, especially during leadership meetings, leadership quarterlies, there's moments when the room gets hot, gets tense, and those are the moments where Cullen has the right ability to see into the situation and say, am I going to let this keep going, and what is going to come out of this? Like, what is the end result of this conversation going to be? And other times he has the ability to say, hey, let's relax for just a second because it's getting a little hot and there's really no reason for that. So it's a skill to be able to read a room like that. With the experience that he has in business up to this point, it makes it easy for us to trust him. He's built a level of trust with us. He's built a relationship with us to the point where we know he's got the best interest for us and he wants us to succeed. And so he's going to allow that. He's got a very coaching mindset, which allows us to make the mistakes when we make them. And then we talk about why we made them, and then we get better from there.